So, here at TIRESLIDE, we are drawn to the unique. Probably the most unique swap that I've ever seen in an RX-7. I'm really excited to present this today. And we're drawn to the cheap. We are going to buy a super cheap car. So somehow, my wife was able to find a Saab 9.3 Turbo for $300. And we are super excited to announce our brand new build. Somewhat inspired by last week's video of us going to park. If you guys haven't checked that out already, go check it out. We like to do things that not a lot of people have done. So our next project, which we are naming TIRESLIDE TANYA, we're going to take two Imprezas and turn them into one drift car.
If you have a 240 bumper, you're halfway to a drift car.
Yeah, you just need to break it, drill some holes and drift stitch it, and that's how you can become a real drifter.
What happens when you own a Mark III Super, Nick? You use head gaskets for decorations.
Hashtag 7M. So the car that got donated to us, basically, by a friend of ours in the drift community. His name's Alex. Some of you may know him by Bunchy. He had this car to take the LS out of. Yes, the LS, because this car had an LS swapped into it. This drive shaft is what connected the T56 to the Subaru rear differential, which, as most of you know, is definitely the weak point in the system. But I think we're going to keep this around because it has serviceable U-joints, and factory Subaru drive shafts don't have serviceable U-joints. So when the U-joints go bad, you basically have to replace the whole assembly. So I think we could make a one-piece steel drive shaft for our car using this and still have serviceable U-joints, which would be nice. So we'll keep it.
Restate what we're taking out of there.
Okay. So off of the donated Impreza, we are going to take the over fenders. It has a really nice fiberglass rear over fender and front wide body fenders, which is going to look super cool on our drift car. It's got a 4-point cage in it. That's not necessarily tech regulation, but it's something that we can build off of for tech. It's something that we can use to route some 4-point harnesses so we're not sliding around in the seats. This car also has a rear disc conversion because our base model Impreza is a rear drum, and we need to build some extra calipers onto that for locking up the rear end. So this other Impreza here is what we're building off of. It ended its commuter life rear-ending someone. And it looks rough, but we actually got enough parts between both of the cars to be able to fix this front end-ish. It's not going to be perfect, but the most important thing is the frame rails are actually not damaged on this car. It's just sheet metal. So Daryl from DB Custom, who owns the G8, which we did a feature on a couple months ago, is going to come out and help us straighten out the sheet metal up front here and straighten out the core support so that we can put a radiator back in this and get the hood to latch. So kind of a funny story. This was actually my first car back in the day. I sold it about 3 years ago, and it's made its full circle way back to me. When the owner crashed it, basically didn't want it, insurance totaled it, so I bought it back, and now it's destined to become a drift car.
It's almost like Subaru planned on you just hauling all the crap out at once.
Beautiful.
It's gonna look so cool. Nick's grinding. We got the rear fenders off. I'm going to start taking off the front fenders, wherever I put the drill, right there. Nick's getting the last half of the cage out, and that'll be pretty much everything except for drivetrain, or well, not drivetrain, but we need the rear brakes and the front brakes. So this is going to be something.
Oil pan?
That's for the LS though, isn't it?
Oh. Cool.
It's gonna be something like that. There was only 3 screws holding it on.
I know, they like put it on last second.
Cage is done. Out.
The cage is out.
We just got one more flare, and then we need the brakes.
Yeah, I just want to get everything out of the inside before we start stacking all the parts from the other Impreza inside this thing, so that it can go off to the scrapyard.